Alright, so what's up guys, it's your poor boy FPV coming back at you with the rest of the Merica 4S multi-GP racing drone build. I'm doing this video today and follow up just to give a shout out on Labor Day Monday to Race Day Quads. These guys right here have top-notch customer service in my book. I had a little issue when I took the Merica out for the new Kisscc Merica build that I'm showing in this video. I took it out for a maiden voyage yesterday, and what happened is when I was putting prop nuts on and tightening them down, it looks like that the little metal ring that holds this little neoprene insert right here in on the lock nut. I don't know why it just kind of popped the top off, kind of like, you know, peeling back a can for some reason, and it done it on 3 of them. Now I didn't have this issue with the first Merica build with the Kisscc with the Race Day Quads badass motors, and I had ordered 5, and you see that 5 of them are holding. And then I went back, decided to do a second build, and I just ordered 3, and for whatever reason, it could be a coincidence, but maybe a bad batch of prop nuts on these motors, I don't know. But Race Day Quads, with their excellent customer service, like I said, on a Sunday, Labor Day weekend Sunday, responded to my emails and my messages in the Facebook groups lightning fast, and within 45 minutes I had an email saying that they were sending me a new set of prop nuts at no cost, and I am not sponsored by Race Day Quads. So I thought that was really great, and I expressed my excitement as far as that and let them know that I was going to be putting a little video out on YouTube for them. And both of the Merica Kiss drones fly really well. They work out really well for my intentions, which is slowing me down a little bit because the Merica 6S is just a little too quick for my skill level at the moment. But as I become a better pilot, I'm sure I'll be needing this one right here in the future. I also want to give a shout out to Catalyst Machine Works and Neil Whitley for designing a top-notch racing drone frame. If you ask me, it's probably one of the best in my book. Some people might argue that opinion, but I really don't care. It's my favorite. It's going to be my go-to multi-GP racer. But anyway, let's get on with the build. Alright guys, so my camera's charged back up, and I've been working on this thing for a little bit. And what I've done off camera is just connected up my XT60 that I was making earlier, and I know it's a pretty ugly little soldering joint there, but these wires are so big and these pads are so small, but it'll work. And I've gotten all my power wires run for my VTX, and went ahead and attached the motors to the arms, put some heat shrink around them, went ahead and started attaching some of the motor wires, getting them soldered up. The power wires for these tiny LEDs, I run those to the pads underneath the Kisscc, and I went ahead and soldered up the TBS Crossfire Nano receiver, and soldered in the signal wire, 5 volts power wire, the ground, and the telemetry wire. And really, there's not a whole lot left to do. I'll just go ahead and connect up these motor wires right here. Connect up the smart audio wire for the TBS Unify Pro HV, and I'll be connecting that right there to RX3. and start buttoning this thing up right here, because all my work is pretty well done in this area. And I haven't done any soft mounting. This thing is hard mounted in this drone. There's no soft mounting on the motors. There's no caps added to it. And I think that's a pretty outstanding thing, considering lots of other drones they suggest soft mounting, this and that, adding caps. And the first one I built like this, like I said, it flies really well. No hot motors, no oscillations. It might oscillate a little bit in prop wash and heavy punches, but other than that, this thing it's pretty solid. As I become a better racer, get a little quicker, I'm sure I'll need to do some PID tuning, to get some of the prop wash oscillations and things like that out of it. But other than that, this right here, and I've built many a drones, this one right here by far is a really good flyer. I love it. Flies great, handles great. I don't know if it has to do with the crossfire, Kiss. Maybe it's a combination of things. I'm sold on the Catalyst Machine Works frame when it comes to racing. I've seen these things take some pretty hard hits and withstand some terrible crashes compared to some of the other frames out there. And I'm not going to name any names, because last thing I want is the haters coming out of the woodworks. But yeah, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these motor wires connected up here, and I just use my helping hands to kind of stand this thing up on its side. That way I can hold it in place. And all I really do as far as for the connecting up the motor wires is I'll start with the one that's going to be furthest away from me, which is going to be this one, and I'll just bring it down here to this first pad where it looks like it just gets you a fair amount, just a good length. It's always good to have a little extra and take away from it if you need to, then not have enough, because it always sucks having to add wire and just snip a little bit away. And just like stated before, you always pre-tin everything before you even begin to solder. Make sure you always got a good clean tip and fresh solder on your tip, and just go ahead and tin the wire really good, and then we'll connect this thing up. As easy as that, and that's a good connection. It's not going anywhere. And I'll just do this 5 more times. I'll solder up the smart audio wire to the RX3 pad, and then I'll start buttoning this thing up. But before I do button this thing up, I will go ahead and add in the V-Sense wire to the power from the battery. That way I can get my battery voltage through my on-screen display in this RunCam Racer. But I'm going to do everything else off camera. Alright, so I got everything soldered up, and what I'm going to do is just remove these extra bolts that I had put in the arms here, just to kind of hold things in place while I was getting everything soldered up. This is kind of one of the things that you deal with the the Merica frames, so I won't be needing them anymore. Those are just I think they're M5 8mm long bolts. Just some extras I had laying around, a little piece at a time. The way these Merica frames are built, they come with these little spacers for the arms. Makes the rear motor arms set up higher than the front, but these will fit in the motor arm area, and then you have this top plate right here to kind of balance it out. And I picked up this little piece right here from Pyro Drone, and all it is just a little mounting piece, and I'm going to use that to mount my VTX right here. And by using this Kisscc, what this does is just frees up a whole lot of space right up here in this canopy, which, you know, you're limited with space anyway because this is a really small build and you're trying to cram as much as you can in it. But all I'll be doing is using some nylon screws and nuts here just to kind of button that up. And what this does by doing it like this, when I mount this down, it also locks onto these nylon nuts and it puts a nice tight pressure on it, so there's no movement in this flight controller at all. It's not going nowhere. It's locked into place. And I think just because of it being such a tight frame, that's what helps out with it. But I also, before I do this, I have to fish all these wires that are coming up through there, except less this one. I'll be mounting my receiver with just some double-sided sticky tape underneath this plate and fishing these wires through to the top. And all these right here will have to be fished through this plate right here. Generally takes about, for me, building a drone, because I work all the time and trying to find the time to complete a build, I just have to work on it when I can. But you wind up with about a good 8 hours of build time in a video. I mean, in a build, good 8 hours in it, building out. Well, and then you got to program it and get it all set up. So I do a little bit of that along the way. Like I said, I kind of start it by, when I get a new flight controller, I'll flash it with the latest firmware and get it set up, or started anyway in the setup. In the Catalyst Machine Works Merica frame kit, they give you different size bolts here. You got some short ones to feed through the back side of the arms, and then you have longer ones, and these feed through the canopy whenever you attach it. They give you a pretty good amount of bolts for everything. A smashed wire on a carbon fiber frame is it's not good. Carbon conducts electricity. Might wind up in a little bit of trouble. Now I have everything kind of laid in here about how it's going to be. I'm just going to take a look, make sure nothing is pinched. So everything else from here on out is just connecting these wires right here together. That's the last little bit of soldering. And all this is my VTX to camera wires. I've always powered my cameras off of my VTX because I get good clean video through the VTX. I've seen somewhat where somebody suggested not to do that. I've had better luck with powering my cameras through the VTX than through anything else, because I get good clean video feed through the VTX. Why? I do not know. It's just how it is. It works good for me like that, and I don't want to change it. So one thing I will be doing as well is I can mount my Team Black Sheep VTX right here on top of this with some double-sided sticky tape and get this thing ready to start buttoning it all up. This is always a good thing to have on hand right here. This is a digital multimeter, and I just set it to this setting right here, beep setting, which will let me know if I have something crossed. So we'll go ahead and check that before I get any further. It's good. So we'll be able to put a light bulb on it, I'm sure. I've never used a smoke stopper. It is a good thing to have, but I've never used one since I've been building them, and I've been lucky. And this is how I connect two wires together. It works really well for me. It makes a really good strong connection. If you don't have good solder, a good solder joint, too much heat, not enough heat, holding them there too long, maybe not enough solder, you won't have a good connection. And that's a good strong joint. That's not going nowhere. I've tore apart the Merica 6S to build this one. The one that I done the YouTube video for. It was my first 6S drone build. I still have a Merica 6S, which is much faster and a better flying drone. And I will use it for racing when I get better at racing, but for right now, at the moment, I'm a little slow and still learning some of these complex maneuvers and stuff, so I needed to slow it down a little bit, get a handle on racing, get a handle on the nerves. So now everything is soldered up and ready to be buttoned up. Have a lot of extra wire here. It's always good to have plenty of extra length. You never know what you may need it for. It is a little extra weight, but this is a really lightweight build, so I don't think it's really going to matter too much. Let's get some VHB and we'll put it on the bottom of this TBS Unify here. This is the TBS Unify Pro HB Race Edition. 25 to 200 milliwatts output. Generally we usually race with just 25 milliwatts, but if you need 200 just for a little extra better picture whenever you ain't flying in the field against other pilots, you got it right here. I do have two different ones here, and I noticed something when I was messing with it. This is a 7-pin, and this is a 5-pin. Make sure you pay attention to which one you really have. I'm running the 7-pin on a different quad that I have. It's not one of my racers, just a quad that I had built for my girlfriend to fly. This stuff right here is really strong. It holds really good. That's about all you need. Just stick that right there on the center, and there we have it. It's buttoned up, ready to go. Alright, so this thing's getting ready to be buttoned all up, and we'll power it on and see what's going to happen. I'm going to run these antenna wires through here. The reason why I mount one up and one out the back is because they say it's good to have them as separated as you can at a 90, and or straight across. Either way, it works good. And before I snug it all up, just want to check the wiring, make sure nothing's pinched in here, which is not, it's close. But anyway, in here where I have all this nylon stuff, it's pretty tight. That flight controller is not moving at all. It becomes a part of the frame in this build right here. Some people might say it's a bad thing. Like I said, this drone right here flies. Well, the other one flew so well that I was bound and determined to make 2 of them for racing. And there it is. It's all put together. Feels really light in my hand. I really don't like this sticking up that high. That'll be okay. I'll take a little Bondic and run it around these antenna tubes here, just to kind of tighten all that up. But yeah, that's it. Probably run a zip tie around this right here, just to kind of connect that up where it's snug. Put a brace across here just for the extra security. Keep everything good and tight. I've already went my radio, programmed the model, bound the
Welcome to OpenTX.
Bound the Team Black Sheep receiver to this model in particular. If you guys want to know how to do it, make a suggestion for a video, but there's plenty out there already on YouTube. I don't need to make it. And there it is. Let's see what happens when I arm it.
Engines armed.
Motor direction's wrong, of course. That's why it's doing that.
Engines armed.
That one's right, that one's wrong, that one's right, that one's wrong. So I need to reverse 2 and 4. Once I do that, it'll be ready for a test hover. And I believe I can do that in the GUI. Or there's solder pads on this, which I forgot all about. Those LEDs look really nice, really bright. But yeah, that's it. That's the build. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please hit the like and subscribe, brother. This is your poor boy FPV. Peace out.
Merica. Fuck yeah.